Hey, what's up everybody, Ray here. As promised, I am breaking down that new Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade trailer, final trailer. We're going to get into it, some stuff that maybe you all already have seen or picked up, and some things that maybe you haven't picked up on yet, and some little things here and there. And as always, if there's something I missed, please throw it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Before we get into it, I want to say you can follow me on, well, it disappeared, but hey, right there on Twitter and Instagram at Kaufman20XX. Follow me over there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So we're going to start with this guy, Weiss, right? So my prediction was he was going to have some kind of like influence with Chadley and with the system and with the whole AI simulator and all that kind of thing, which he still could. But here, we're going to hit play here, and we're going to check it out. And he clearly is in the simulator fighting Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. So this is definitely an AI battle. This is just an AI battle. Now, if it goes more than that, where do I think this happens? Okay, so I think this will happen on the in the actual gameplay. When you're playing back through Remake, where you're going into the drum, you're leaving Aerith's room where she grew up, and you pass Chadley as you're going toward the drum, right? You have Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud in your party. You just fought some unknown entities. I think that point in the game right there is where you will unlock and be able to have this battle. Because like I've said before, I think there are going to be things that change slightly in Remake. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's keep moving on. Alright, so we get Yuffie and Sonon kicking ass. We get a really good shot of Deepground Soldier here. Love the Mako suit. I love the way it looks. I think this is a really cool look. So here Yuffie's telling Sonon that she's found out they're about to drop the Sector 7 plate. We kind of figured that was what was going to go down. So if she's saying it right here and they're already in Deepground, then it throws a couple of things through a loop, right? So it could be a situation where the dialogue is superimposed over the game, or it could be that she actually says it right here in the game. And of course you see some materia in her weapon here. I don't know if that's going to be Pinwheel or just Shuriken. I don't know which ones that's going to be. But so she talks about it right here with Sonon. Deepground, for me, I figured Deepground would be later on, right? So if they're trying to steal top secret materia from Shinra, it could be that the Shinra stuff happens early on. Midway through her story or whatever. So jury's out on that one, but I do have a theory on this, and we're going to continue. So here Yuffie talks about the Dachau beans. She's going to give the Dachau beans to everybody. That is an Easter egg because Dachau is the god worshipped by Wutai, or he's representative of Wutai. He's the statue right here. This statue right here, that's Dachau right there. So I thought that was a really cool little reference, a little Easter egg for Wutai, what we could be seeing in the future. This is going to look great in Remake, by the way. I can't wait to see this. And yo, Fort Condor, this game looks like it's going to be absolutely addictive already. Like, so it's really cool because the logo here, you've got the Phoenix that was on top of Fort Condor right here, and it's kind of this circular shape because Phoenix is a summon materia. So I thought that was a really cool idea that they had there. I love the layout of the game because up here you can kind of see, you start with equal ATB. And so you've got these two pawn looking pieces and a rook piece right here if you're talking about chess. And then when you zoom in on the game, you see that these younger birds, these younger versions of the Phoenix or the Condor, I guess it's not a Phoenix anymore, right? I guess it's very much just Condors. So these two young Condors right here are these little pawn pieces, and the rook piece, I guess you take the castle. This is supposed to be a castle piece. That is the Condor. So if you take the reactor that the Condor is sitting on, I guess you win the game. And over here, you've got your different units, and you've got opposing battlefields. I like the layout of this. I think the game looks fun. It looks like something that maybe you could possibly play online against other people. I could see Square Enix going in that direction. You've got your different units lined up. I like it. You've got your attack, you got your defense, you've got your archery, your skill position, another defender. Really cool stuff. So I like the way Fort Condor looks. I love the look of the art too. I love the out and out chaos, the chaotic look of the fighting here. I think it's really cool. And look up here at the top. You've got these different parameters up here, you know, the heavy in one favor to the other. And then over here, you've got regen, poison, barrier, all these different things that you can do. So regen right here. Okay, so this right here, okay, that makes more sense then. You've got regen right here, poison right here, barrier, and I guess this is heal. I guess this right here is heal. So right down here, it shows the different things you can do. You can use regen right here. Creates a field for your other units to come in and continuously heal. I like it. This game looks really cool. It looks like a lot of fun. And the rounds aren't too crazy long either. 3 minutes, that's not bad. And then of course here we've got the climactic scene where we see Sonon talking about his sister Melfi, who, if you all know about Before Crisis and everything, you've got Elfie as the character, but Melfi is his sister who was killed by Scarlet, one of Scarlet's machines. And so here we've got the scene that shows Sonon's sister Melfi. I know what you all are thinking. Elfie, Before Crisis. I'm not going to get into that real quick. I'm not going to get into that right now. That's too big of a hill to speculate off of. But I will say this. I do think there's a connection between Yuffie and Sonon and his sister and all that. We're about to get into it. So this right here shows Melfi, Sonon's sister, who looks a lot like Yuffie, getting killed by some of Scarlet's weapons of war, basically, during the Wutai war. Now, there's a couple of different things here. The first thing, she looks a lot like Yuffie. Like, she looks a lot like Yuffie. They're not even playing around. Like, she's built like her, she looks like her. They're not even goofing. You put a headband on her, it's Yuffie. They're not even goofing. They're not even trying to hide this. So I say that to say this. You also have the pinwheel right here, right? Which is what? That's Yuffie's weapon. That's one of Yuffie's weapons. The shuriken shape, the pinwheel. Now, it could just be because she's a ninja in Wutai, but it could be something more to it. I think it's something more to it. I think it's going to be a situation where Godo might be Sonon and Melfi's dad, and kind of a little bit of cover up in Wutai, right? A little bit of cover up. I think Godo might be Yuffie and her. They might have the same dad, basically. They look too much alike not to. And we know from reading Sonon's biography, his bio, that it says that Lord Godo trained him personally. He trained personally with Godo. So he learned everything he knows from Godo. Why Godo took him in to train him himself or whatever. He saw promise or whatever. Or maybe he's his dad. Or maybe he was in love with Sonon's mother. And that is Godo's daughter, as well as Yuffie. Jury's out. Hey, I'm just throwing it out there for y'all. Y'all know how we do. I'm just throwing it out there for you all. That's my idea. That's my idea, because they look too much alike to not be related. And Yuffie even says in one of the trailers that came out, I think it was it the first? Yeah, it was the first time we saw Intergrade, I think. She said, look, I'm not your sister, or whatever. You know, Sonon is very protective of Yuffie, I'm understanding, because she reminds him so much of his sister. There could be something to that. Anyway, we're gonna keep going, but that's my theory. That's my theory. Godo gets around. I think Godo maybe got around a little bit. Godo maybe got around a little bit in Wutai. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He might have several kids out there, and Sonon and Melfi here might be two of them. Melfi not blown to pieces, but she is taking a hard L here, so I guess this is where she dies. Yeah, so Sonon's pissed. Now we get why Sonon's so pissed. So Ray, why did you freeze it on her getting taken out like that? Well, I freeze it like that because of this. There's like 5 frames where her back flips over, and they show you purposefully the shuriken on her back is the same as the one in her hair. Now, could this be some symbol of Wutai, or could this be some symbol of Godo's like royal guard, or does it have something? There's a meaning to this symbol, basically. There's a meaning to it. It has something strictly to do with Wutai military, Wutai warriors, something like that. And so I paused it here to show you all that. Some of you all may have missed the shuriken on the back of her shirt, but she's got the one in her hair, she's got the one there, so there is something to that. Besides the fact that that's the weapon Yuffie uses. So anyway, let's continue. Young Sonon, obviously here. He's got the polearm sheath on his back. He's checking on his sister. She's dead. She dies in his arms, most likely. Poor guy. How can you not feel for Sonon in this game? Look at this dude. And here we got Scarlet and Scarlet's jugs in the shot. But what I'm really showing off here is the fact that this machine seems to be, I'm going to guess that's some sort of materia. That this machine is run on some sort of materia. Because the way it's lit up reminds me of the way that the Deepground soldiers, their materia suits are lit up. So for me, I feel like this is like Proud Claude 1.0. I know a lot of you all have contested me on this in the comments. I'm going to stick to it. I feel like this is an early version, not the final version of the Proud Claude. This is an early version of the Proud Claude because we know the final version is piloted by Heidegger and Scarlet, and it's much, much bigger. It's much, much bigger than this version. But I feel like this is a prototype early version of it, and also a little Easter egg for Ruby Weapon, because it also looks a lot like Ruby Weapon to me. If you think about the Final Fantasy XIV design for Ruby Weapon and Final Fantasy VII, the way Ruby Weapon looks, I feel like this is kind of like a nod to Ruby Weapon. Of course, Shinra doesn't know what Ruby Weapon looks like yet. They're gonna know, but they don't know yet. Now, there's a couple of different important things I want you all to take in right here. 2 points here. I've had some people message me and say that they're certain that this fight takes place after Nero, and that Nero is not the last fight of the story. I have 2 pieces of evidence that would tell me otherwise. The first one's not really a piece of evidence, but it's just to show that this battle takes place in a different area. Even though they look very similar, take place in a different area than the battle with Nero. So the windows around the top of this area are totally unblocked and open. It's like they are higher up on a plate, or at least there's some sunlight getting to them or something like that. And look down here. Right down here, the hit points for Sonon and Yuffie. Sonon's is 3951, Yuffie's is 3233. Remember that. Remember that for later when we get back down to talking about Nero. And right here, I lost my mind the second time I watched this. They do X/ from Chrono Trigger. Here it comes. 1, 2. X/, and then they go back into the boom. Chrono Trigger love, baby. Chrono Trigger love. That's all I got to say about that. Now here we go. Big Daddy. You all know this is the one I was wanting to see. Ramuh. Okay, now this does not take place during the Scarlet fight. This takes place during they are battling Nero here, because here, look at the top. Look up here. You've got these girders. You've got these girders all over the place. And look in front of the windows. The girders. This is a Deepground facility. This is not Scarlet's area here. They are fighting Nero right here. And then Ramuh looks so dope. He looks like he's straight off of a magic card. He looks like he's straight off a magic card. Give me this all friggin' day. Give me, high elf Lord of the Rings looking Ramuh. I'm here for it. Look at this. Look at this. This is so dope. He's got the energy pulsating behind him. Man, give me this all day. And also, here, hang on. He's up on the spire, up on the mountain that comes out of the ground and stuff, just like it does in Final Fantasy VII. Like everything Remake does so well. It's not completely reimagined. It's just brilliantly updated. It's just, there was nothing wrong with it. Brilliantly updated. He's on his spire. He's dropping the lightning. Brilliantly updated. And check it. That's Nero. Right here, these wings, they're fighting Nero. Not Scarlet with Ramuh. They're fighting Nero. So, you might get Ramuh after you beat Scarlet. Who knows? But yeah, they are fighting. That's Nero. That is Nero right there. They're fighting him. And so if I have to guess, this right here is Nero awakening. Nero coming out of whatever stasis he's in Deepground, because these researchers look really, really puzzled as to what's going on. He uses his shadow, the shadow ability he has from from his tie to chaos, right? He uses that shadow ability to absorb that wall and eat through that computer, and that's what this ability does. If you all don't know about the Dirge of Cerberus characters, I'm thinking about doing a video series about each one of the civets. Let me know in the comments if you all would like to see that. And there he is, Nero the Sable. Man, he looks dope. He looks great. Easily my favorite villain from Dirge of Cerberus. Easily. I was so excited when I saw him in the reaction. I lost it. I was like, oh, they did it. Because why? We called it here on the channel. We were like, look, you can't have Weiss without Nero. And now I'm going to tell you, you can't have Nero without Weiss. So Nero is in the story. He's here. He's in the story, right? Whether or not they kill him here in Intergrade or wherever, he's in the story. So you can't have him without Weiss. That's why I think there's more to Weiss than just that AI simulator battle. And here we go. The shadow abilities he has from the experimentation with chaos. What this ability does, it lets him absorb matter, like people or things, and he can either destroy them or place them somewhere else. That's what's happening to this poor bastard right here. And I feel very strongly that this is Nero just awakening. I don't feel like he's been let loose by Shinra or something like that. I feel like he is much like a lot of what's going against Shinra in the game, like Sephiroth, Genova, now these guys, and some soldiers even. Like, things are getting out of Shinra's control. They're messing with powers they don't fully understand and can't fully control, and it's blowing up in their face. I think that's what he represents, and Deepground is going to represent in Remake. And here we go. Yuffie and Sonon getting ready to do battle with Nero the Sable. Now, why I feel like this battle happens after Scarlet. Okay, remember I said look at the HP? Right here. Look at the HP. Right here. Sonon, he was 39 something. He's 42-14 now. Yuffie, she was 31 or 32 something. She's 34-48 now. It's after the battle with Scarlet. So Nero the Sable, I feel like, is going to be the final battle of Final Fantasy VII Remake's intermission chapter. I think Nero will be the final battle. He's got his guns, he's looking dope, and I really want to know what these huge machines are back here. I mean, this looks like a Gundam right here. I don't know if it's just a pile of junk laying around or if it's like an actual mech that Deepground's getting ready to use. Deepground's got some serious machinery in Dirge of Cerberus, so this could be stuff that's not online yet. And I love this shot of Sonon right here. Reminiscent of the statues on the mountain cliff of Wutai with some of those poses they break out. And this also has like an ancient or like an old school kind of a kung fu feel to it. Really dig that. And this dual tech right here is slick looking, where they both attack him at the same time. And then you get what looks like the tail of Leviathan right there come out. Right here, there's something reminiscent of Leviathan in this dual tech right here. It looks so good. Everything I've seen so far for Intergrade, I'm just loving the way it looks. All the little attention to detail. It's got Wutai all over it. You saw the autumn leaves come out. Now right here, here's the thing everybody's talking about. Here's the thing everybody's talking about, right? Me included. So right here, this shot right here, I originally said, I'm going to zoom in here, that this looks like Vincent Valentine. And a lot of you all just castrated me over this, right? And that's fine. That's what I'm here for, baby. That's what I'm here for. I thought this looked a lot like Vincent Valentine. And before I get into what I think it is now, I just wanted to explain my theory on that a little bit. You know, so you just fought Nero the Sable from the civets. You've got Deepground stuff happening or whatever, and we know they're changing stuff in Remake. So before people start in with the whole, well, Vincent's asleep. Well, things are changing in Remake. If you all don't know, in the original Final Fantasy, you don't fight Sephiroth on the freeway when you leave Midgar. So things are changing, right? Things are absolutely changing. And Vincent being awake could be something that changed, but I don't think that's the case now after thinking about it a little bit and after thinking about something I've seen that Remake presents to us in the game. My theory on Vincent was maybe he's awake. Maybe he has some kind of knowledge of what's happening just like Sephiroth and Aerith do, and maybe he came to help take care of the civets so the Dirge of Cerberus doesn't happen or something like that. Vincent's trying to prevent Dirge of Cerberus from ever happening. So That was kind of my theory in this, that he's going to go ahead and take care of people that are going to cause a problem later, right? Well, I don't believe that anymore. I truly believe that if this isn't Vincent, this is Kate Shi. Why? Well, I'll show you why. Right here, this shot right here that happens in Final Fantasy VII Remake. You see the crown, plus you see the really white face right here, right? So there's a point where it actually slams the ground, right? Because he's, I don't know how they're going to explain he's tied to Reeve. He's a toy, right? So he could just be mentally tied to Reeve, or they'll explain it somehow, right? If you take into account this shot, the way this looks right here, it's not too hard to think that this could be Kate Shi, his little cape flapping off right here, maybe his tail coming off right here, him slamming the ground, shine from his crown maybe, or maybe he's starting to look over his shoulder and that's the white from his face right there. Could be anything, but that's definitely, I think that's definitely Kate Shi right there. If it does turn out to be Vincent, you heard it here first. But moving on, and the blood all over Yuffie's face. It's on her armor, right? You can see the blood splatter on her armor. This is Sonon's blood. This is the blood of Sonon. That's why she is so upset. And I really feel Nero the Sable will kill Sonon. I think it's either Nero. I don't think it's going to be Scarlet. I think that I think Sonon will destroy whatever machine Scarlet's in. And that will help him kind of like have revenge for his sister or whatever, you know, some kind of like making up for not being able to defend her in some way. And then his story arc closes at the hands of Nero the Sable. Now we can talk about the civets and all that kind of stuff just for a quick second. So there's one or two ways to look at the Deepground characters, right? Intermission could be their one-off. It could be their one-off. It could be a way to get them in there in the remake universe, and then maybe Yuffie and Sonon kill Nero. Maybe Weiss never gets to wake up. Maybe Cloud and company shut him down before he can wake up and kill him or something. That's possible. That's an absolute possibility. I'm not ruling that out. It would be dumb to rule that out, right? Because they could just be like giving them their shine in this and then move on so it doesn't get too crowded. However, they could be moving forward with these characters. And if they do have these characters moving forward, they are not just ousted after this game, which if they are, again, I'm fine with that because they're giving them some shine. They're giving them a spot. They're bringing in everything from the compilation. I've told you all that. They're going to bring in everything from the compilation. They're going to use these guys and they're going to get them in and get them out. Rosso, the other civets, and then Shulk and characters like that, I don't know if we're going to see them. But we got the big two bad guys from Dirge of Cerberus. We know we got Vincent coming. That's the nod to that game. Now, if they do move forward with him, I think Nero kills Sonon. If they're not moving forward with him, then maybe Sonon died like protecting you. I think he's going to die protecting Yuffie from something, obviously. Is it protecting him from Nero, or is it protecting her from some random gunfire or some random last-ditch attack from either Scarlet or somebody else? It's impossible to say. I'm going to put my money on the table and say Nero kills him. That's been what I've been speculating since I said Nero's going to be in this a couple of months ago. I called Nero being in this thing a while back. So I was like, if you got Weiss, you got to have Nero. They're brothers. They're tight. They got to have them. And, Genesis is coming too. So, based on everything here, I think we've got a lot of stuff to be excited about. Now, there is one other thing with Nero here I thought was really cool. There's a great track from Dirge of Cerberus called Messenger of the Dark. That's pretty much Nero's theme in Dirge of Cerberus. So, if you listen to the music here, and you go find that track, I think this music it's about to play.
Let the games begin.
Right. This music, it's a remake of Messenger of the Dark. It's a remake of his track from Dirge of Cerberus. What a great touch. What a great touch. I'm here for it, everybody. I think it's great. That's my breakdown. If you think I missed anything, or if you saw something I didn't see, throw it in the comments. As you can see in this shot right here, there is, like I'm saying again, I'm going to go back to this shot right here. There's blood all over her armor. Like, whatever happened to Sonon, like, whatever happened to Sonon happened big and bad. He got the blah treatment. He got blah. He gets wasted. There's blood all over her. But anyway, let me know what you all think of that. Throw a like on the video if you're into it. Subscribe to the channel. That's my breakdown of the intermission, or the Intergrade final trailer. Basically focusing on the intermission stuff. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait till June 10th. I hope I've got a PS5 by then so I can play this with you all. But anyway, let me know if you all saw something I didn't see. And until then, you all have a great night. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other and keep rocking. I will see you all in the next video.